The birth of Jesus is one of the most well-known events in history. It is also one of the most controversial. Even though we celebrate Jesus' birth on December 25th, scholars are not sure when he was born. In fact, we do not know the exact year. Determining the year of Jesus' birth is complicated by the accounts found in the Bible. The Gospels, for example, seem to contradict each other on the date of Jesus' birth. One of the most significant problems we encounter when trying to date Jesus' birth is the death of Herod the Great. The Gospel of Matthew states that Jesus was born during the reign of Herod the Great. Matthew also narrates the story of wise men coming to pay homage to the baby Jesus. Herod, who was king in Jerusalem at the time, felt threatened by this news. He decided to have all baby boys in and around Bethlehem killed. Scholars agree that Herod the Great died in 4 BCE. This means that if Matthew's account is historically accurate, Jesus must have been born before 4 BCE. This fact has led to a lot of debate among scholars about when Jesus was born. Some scholars believe that Matthew's account is not historically accurate. They suggest that he moved the story of Jesus' birth to this time for theological purposes. Whatever the case, the dating of Jesus' birth remains a subject of debate. The issue is further complicated by the fact that we do not have complete historical records from this time period. Despite these difficulties, it is still possible to piece together a general timeline of events. By doing so, we can gain a better understanding of the historical context of Jesus' birth. Herod the Great was a complex and contradictory figure. He was a ruthless tyrant who was responsible for the deaths of many of his own family members. However, he was also a shrewd politician and a skilled builder who oversaw a period of great prosperity in Judea. Herod's paranoia and cruelty are well documented. He was constantly afraid of being overthrown. This fear led him to commit many atrocities. Herod was appointed king of Judea by the Roman Senate in 40 BCE. He was never fully accepted by the Jewish people. They viewed him as a puppet of Rome. In an attempt to win over his subjects, Herod launched an ambitious building program. He renovated the temple in Jerusalem and built many other fortresses and cities throughout Judea. Despite his efforts, Herod was never able to fully quell the unrest in Judea. He faced numerous rebellions during his reign. He always responded to these threats with brutal force. In addition to his political enemies, Herod also killed members of his own family. He was convinced that they were plotting against him. His paranoia knew no bounds. The Gospel of Matthew tells the story of the massacre of the innocents. This event is not mentioned in any other historical source. This fact has led some scholars to question whether or not it actually happened. According to Matthew, Herod was visited by a group of wise men from the east. They were looking for the newborn king of the Jews. They had seen his star in the sky and were following it. Herod was troubled by this news. He called together his advisors. They told him that the Messiah was prophesied to be born in Bethlehem. Herod secretly met with the wise men. He told them to go to Bethlehem and find the baby. He wanted them to report back to him. Herod said he also wanted to worship the child. However, he was actually planning to kill him. The wise men followed the star to Bethlehem. There they found Jesus and worshipped him. However, they were warned in a dream not to return to Herod. They went back to their own country by another route. When Herod realized that the wise men had tricked him, he was furious. He ordered the slaughter of all the baby boys in and around Bethlehem who were 2 years old or younger. The story of the massacre of the innocents is a powerful one. It is a reminder of the brutality of Herod's reign. It highlights the danger that Jesus faced even as a baby. However, the historical accuracy of Matthew's account has been disputed by many scholars. This event is not mentioned in any other historical source. The most significant problem with the account is the date it provides for Jesus' birth. According to Matthew, Jesus was born during the reign of Herod the Great. Herod died in 4 BCE. This means that if Matthew's account is accurate, Jesus must have been born before 4 BCE. Most scholars believe that Jesus was born sometime between 6 and 4 BCE. It is possible that Matthew's account of the massacre of the innocents is a parable. He may have created this story to illustrate the threat that Jesus posed to the power of Rome. This event prefigures Jesus' own death at the hands of the Roman authorities. Regardless of whether or not it is historically accurate, the story of the massacre of the innocents remains an important part of the Christian tradition.